Ski Jumping Canada's faint glimmer of hope for the Nagano Olympics is in the hands of two Jasons, Cardass and Mislicki, the brightest stars of a program in transition. Combined is the jewel of Canada's Nordic program. It's a success story built on the vision and resolve of its leader, John Heilig. Under his guidance, one athlete, Damien Carson, has a legitimate chance to compete in Japan, and the future is secure with a promising young team. Today, with the Olympics a year away, we showcase the present and future of the Canadian ski jumping and Nordic combined at the Jeep Ski Nationals. Hi everybody, I'm Rob Folds, and joining me is former Canadian and World Cup ski jumping star Horst Buelau. Horst, a year ago we talked about the ski jumping situation in this country and that we're at the bottom of a down cycle. Are we still down?
Definitely. Ski jumping is still in this down cycle, and they're struggling to find their way out of this bottomless pit.
Does that mean we haven't been able to identify the future Buelaus, the Collins, and the Richards?
Well, the early 80s, the glory years, ski jumping was riding an ultimate high where myself, Steve Collins, Ron Richards, I was winning, and the results were there, and a lot of focus was on us. There was not enough focus on the up-and-comer jumpers. The money and the development should have been there for the future skiers. Though, if you're riding an ultimate high on a sport, then you can pour money back in and get the young guys coming along, and that's how you're going to keep the sport going.
Now, you mentioned the word facility. The closing of Thunder Bay then doesn't help.
No, Thunder Bay really hurts the sport also. With Calgary, the main place for Canadian jumpers to train, until Thunder Bay comes back, I can't see a very good future for the sport.
All right, now the standards have yet to be set for the Olympics in Japan, but it's felt right now that there may not be a representative in Japan in 1998. However, lest you think we're too negative, Nordic combined seems to be on the way up.
Yeah. Coach John Heilig has done a fabulous job with Nordic Combined, and the jumpers are really focused. Nordic Combined has got a lot of energy, and hopefully we'll have somebody in Japan.
Is that because of coaching?
Well, I think it's a little bit because of coaching, and I also think the athletes are very focused, and the Nordic Combined athletes have a lot of energy, and they're always up, and they're out to prove something. And ski jumping was on this high, and Nordic Combined was on a low in the early 80s, and now the roles have reversed.
All right, let's take a look at the standards for the Nordic Combined for the Olympics in Japan. Now, it says you have to reach 89.99% of the average of the top three. Is that attainable?
It's very difficult. You have to look at the top three Nordic Combined jumpers, and 89.99% is difficult. Or you have to place in the top 19 at the World Championships coming up.
Well, Bruce Keith, who is the organizer of the event, says that maybe we shouldn't be focusing on Japan, but look to Salt Lake City in 2002. That could be where Canada will shine.
It would be hard to say that their chances for Nagano are high. They're not quite there yet. I'm an optimistic person by nature, and they have another 11 and a half months to actually meet the qualification. It's probably more likely that 2002 will be a significant Olympic event for Canadian Nordic Combined athletes.
36 is clear.
From Canada Olympic Park in Calgary, Alberta, here's a look at the highlights from the K89-meter jump. And Damien Carson of Calgary, a 20-year-old, a Nordic Combined skier, is a pretty good style, Horst.
Very good style by Damien. Finishes off with a nice telemark landing. Damien's been jumping very consistently throughout the week and showed it here.
85 meters on his first jump. Again, looking for a lot of distance on jump number 2 to get that good head start in the cross-country portion of Nordic Combined. And in his combined total for the 20-year-old, 225 points. And made it look easy. It did nothing to it for Damien Carson.
Made it look very easy.
Chris Holland, the jumper, in second place. Another one of the Nordic Combined jumpers. This young man at 17 has a great future in Nordic Combined.
Yeah, showing some real good development here in nice form. However, he's got to finish off with a nicer landing, telemark landing. Judges are judging the landing also.
89 meters on the first jump. And here on the second jump,
had two consistent jumps there. A little bit of difficulty trying to slide in that telemark landing, just about caught an edge.
and the judges combined him for 217 points and second place. So from junior Chris Holland leads us to 22-year-old Jeremy Baig, formerly of Thunder Bay, now in Alberta.
Jeremy is always a consistent jumper. He's very stylish, puts in nice telemark landings, finishes off his jump very good.
82.5 meters in jump number one. Here, his second jump.
Really has to hit a good one here if he wants to try to catch Carson. And he does hit a better jump, very smooth. Jeremy has always been a consistent jumper, and however, we've got Damian Carson that's really become the leader of this team.
213.5 for Jeremy Baig. That was good enough for third place in the 89K. Carson, Baig, and in between, the junior Chris Holland. All three of them Nordic combined competitors. And rounding out the results from the Open K89, another Nordic combined, Rob Keith in sixth. Coming up, the big jump, K114 from the Jeep Ski Nationals. In Calgary, Alberta, in Canada Olympic Park, the Jeep Ski Nationals. Ski jumping, here's the order of jump for the big hill, the 114, Glenn Peterson, the youngster from Thunder Bay, Baig, Keith, Beach, and Cardass. One of the favorites, Jason Cardass. The other, Jason Mislicki, will jump behind junior Chris Holland, then Damian Carson, Schneidmiller, and Curtis Metzger. Now, Horst, take us through the phases of ski jumping.
In run, take off, keep the upper body nice and low, stretch over the skis, get the V-style going, spread them nice and wide. Then the flight position and into a telemark landing, one leg ahead of the other that the judges will be looking for.
Glenn Peterson, here's the youngster, 15-year-old from Thunder Bay, and may be the future of ski jumping in this country.
Definitely the future of ski jumping for this country, and he's one to look for. Coming off here, very nice, very smooth, stretching well over his skis. Oh, and a good long jump. He's got to work on the telemark landing, though, something that the younger jumpers don't think about right away, something the judges are going to pick out, and this will cost them in style. You can see how well he stretches over the skis here. Nice flight position, pulling down the hill. However, he's got to finish it off with the one leg ahead of the other with a telemark landing.
Having to jump through some chilly temperatures in Calgary, even had to jump through the fog. Jeremy Baig, the 22-year-old from Calgary. Next up, his first jump.
Jeremy is a very consistent jumper. Very explosive on the end of the takeoff there, pulling over his skis. I don't think that was quite as far as Glenn's jump was. 108 meters.
Now, what are these jumpers thinking about as they come down that in-run? They've got to be concentrating on, what, 2, 3 different things?
Well, they're concentrating on the takeoff, making one nice long move, very smooth. They have to use their legs, obviously. That's the most important thing. They don't try to help with the upper body. It's all in the legs and keeping the upper body very calm and relaxed.
Next competitor, number 21. This is Rob Keith, the 20-year-old. He's from Calgary, Alberta, and also one of the Nordic combined competitors.
We see Rob coming down the in-run here. Off a little bit onto the right side. Didn't finish the jump off very well at all. He's in a squat position through here, and the judges are going to dock him points for that.
Rob relocated from Ottawa to Calgary in 1992 in order to train full-time with Coach John Healy.
A little bit twisted off the end of the jump right there, and that made him lose a little bit of distance, and very poor landing on Rob's part.
You see the combined points there, 79.2 in jump points when you use distance and style. Now, James Beach, a 17-year-old from Calgary.
James is one of the younger jumpers and is struggling here a little bit, trying to get over the skis, and he was hanging back the whole way. Timing is very important with ski jumping.
And 91 meters for James Beach. He did not compete last year because he was injured, so he did not see any 114 action.
James is really struggling here. He's definitely trying to turn it over, but being late on the takeoff really cost him the distance.
So Beach, 72.6 points. Next up is Jason Cardass, and he has got a rich family tradition in ski jumping. But this year he has been frustrated, has not been able to get the performances he's wanted. 18-year-old from Thunder Bay, Jason Cardass.
My year so far has been up and down. There's been times where I've been doing good, and there's been times where I've been doing really bad. And just lately I've been doing really, really bad. I think it's just mainly due to the training I've been doing and working on certain things that have messed me up while I was jumping.
His explosive legs are like really explosive. His vertical takeoff is like 75 centimeters, which is like top on the world. So he's got it, like his body, like the body weight, body height ratio, it's just excellent for ski jumping.
I should work just a little bit harder to achieve my goals, which is to go to Olympics. So hopefully I could start this month jumping better. If I don't, I'll be disappointed, but if I do, then I'll be a little happier.
Well, following his two brothers off the big ramp, here comes Jason Cardass.
And Jason had mentioned consistency has been a problem this year, and let's see what he does here. He's pulling down the hill, but he's just hanging back a little bit, didn't turn it over, and he's one of those guys that is really up and down. He's got to develop some consistency.
104 meters. Judges will throw in the style points as well. Here's another look.
Timing seemed to be a little bit late, and therefore he's hanging back just a bit, trying to turn the jump over, but just doesn't have it.
And total jump points, 94.0 for Jason Cardass. Next man to the ramp is Chris Holland. Here's a youngster, Nordic combined, a junior, resides in Calgary, and as you saw in the 89K, has a lot of talent.
Lots of talent from this young jumper. Comes off the end here, a little bit twisted, but pulling it out good. Tries to finish it off with a nice telemark landing.
105 meters. For somebody who started jumping in 92.
Again, timing is very important in ski jumping. The timing has to be right on the end of the takeoff, and that's where all the explosive power is carried over, and then the flight position.
National team member since 95, his jump points 96.3. Now the other J we should watch out for, Jason Mislicki, 19-year-old, Thunder Bay, and he comes to Calgary with a lot of expectations.
Jason is usually very consistent. We'll see what he does here, pulling nicely over the skis, way down the hill. Super jump from Jason. He'll be happy with that.
116 meters for Jason Mislicki.
He's got the mask on today because it's so cold, and he's still covering his face. Jason, very smooth, upper body was nice and low, pulls way over the skis here, stretching down the hill, and finishes it off with a good telemark landing. Just pulling all the way down. Great jump from Jason.
And great jump points, 120.6. Wearing bib number 26, this is Damian Carson, another Nordic combined athlete, 20-year-old, makes his home in Calgary.
Damian will give Jason a run for his money, always on his heels here. Pulling over the skis, stretching nicely, very smooth jump from Damian.
104 meters. As Carson trying to add to his total after winning the 89K event.
Timing was very late from Damian, and therefore he didn't have the distance that he needed. but very stylish, good landing. Judges will give him high style points.
And they do, 99 points. As we go to competitor number 27, Robert Schneidmiller, 17-year-old. Well, if anything, Horst, we are seeing some young men take the jump.
Well, this is what really the sport needs, are the young jumpers, and they've got to start performing here. And as we see Robert pulling down the hill, good finish on the landing there.
89 meters. Check that, make that 99 meters for Schneidmiller, his first jump.
Now Robert has a nice wide V-style going, which is important. It's creating more lift for him. However, timing is very important in this sport, and he was late on that jump.
87.0 meters for Schneidmiller. Now, here's the look under that mask for Curtis Metzger, the 18-year-old, as he gets ready to finish off round one.
Curtis coming down. Nice form, stretching down the hill. Finishes it off with a nice landing.
98 meters.
You can really see the frost in the air on how cold it is.
Now, how difficult with that heat fog down below is that for the jumpers to land?
Well, as far as visibility goes, it's not too difficult for the jumpers. The big thing is the cold and trying to stay relaxed and make sure that the muscles are warm and they can use the legs properly. With that cold in the legs, it's very difficult.
85.2 meters coming up. We've got the K114 second round. Stay with us.
This is CTV.
Here's a great vista of the city of Calgary, Alberta, from Canada Olympic Park in Calgary, Alberta, site of the Jeep Ski Nationals. Standing after round one, Jason Mislicki, then Glenn Peterson, Jeremy Baig, Damian Carson, and Chris Holland. Rounding out the top 10, a disappointing first jump for Jason Cardass. Well, the surprise here could be the positioning of young Glenn Peterson. At 15 years of age, the Thunder Bay man has to make a decision after the closing of Big Thunder, but he's got great potential.
I like to fly, like to be aggressive in the air, like just like going really far. It's fun. Yeah, I'm from Thunder Bay. I started in 1991. It's been a tough year this year because Big Thunder has shut down, and we've been trying to get going as many places as we can to train in the States and stuff, make classes. Just concentrate on your takeoff and then nothing past the takeoff. Like your flight will just come to you. I'd like to make it to the Olympics in 2002, I think it is. But it's going to be pretty hard. I'm not sure if I will, but I would really like to be in the Olympics.
I don't know, I have to think he's a pretty good shot horse, especially nailing a 114-meter jump his first go-around and being just 15 years of age.
Definitely, future is bright for Glenn Peterson, and we'll see what he does here. Very aggressive over the skis, pulling way down the hill. Super jump.
119 meters. I think he liked that.
He definitely liked that jump. As he said earlier, he likes flying through the air and going really far, and he went really far on that one. Very aggressive, good explosive power for a young boy. Stretches well over the skis here and doesn't give up. However, he's got to learn to finish off the jump. He's hurt with style points.
120.5 the style points. He's got a total of 233.0. And now Jeremy Baig trying to build on a jump of 108 meters.
Jeremy stretching down the hill. That looked better than his first jump. Very solid, smooth.
And by 6 meters to 114 in jump number 2.
Much better jump for Jeremy.
And getting the high five from Glenn Peterson.
Two Thunder Bay boys.
You may have heard him say, nice air out there.
Nice air out there. Yeah, the sun is shining and it's creating a nice lift. The air is coming up the hill and it creates extra lift for the jumpers.
Jump points 117.0. He's at 222.2. Rob Keith set to go. He had a 98-meter jump.
Rob living in Ottawa before and now makes his home in Calgary, stretching down the hill. A little twisted again, a little difficulty at the end. It could be the air shifting him a little bit.
Pulled out an extra 3 meters, 101. As we'll get another look at his second jump.
Just coming off a little bit twisted. It must be the wind blowing a little bit from one side, got a little cocked, and now he tries to straighten it out at the end. However, had a little difficulty in the landing.
88.6 jump points, a total of 167.8 for Rob Keith. Now James Beach, who was 10th after the first round after a jump of 91 meters.
James has really got to hit one here if he wants to move up in the standings. Also coming off a little bit sideways, but a much better jump for James.
98 meters for the former competitive snowboarder and competitive skateboarder. Likes to get air.
You can see here he's a little bit twisted, tries to straighten himself out, and makes the best that he can out of this jump.
And 83.2 jump points. He's at 155.8. That puts him in 5th place. Still 5 more jumpers to come as they make a few more adjustments, getting ready, trying to find that extra distance. So get ready as we strap them on and get ready to fly from Calgary. The Jeep Ski Nationals, as we say from the Rockies, welcome to Ski TV. Canada Olympic Park. Here's the starter, and that gives you an indication of perhaps the temperature. Minus 33, a balmy minus 33. That's why Horst and I are inside in a heated broadcast booth. As we watch now, down the hill comes Jason Cardis, not very happy with his first jump, even though he hit 104 meters.
And was hanging back on that one too. 105 meters for Jason. He's going to be very disappointed with the results here today. Timing was late, didn't get the full power at the end of the takeoff. Just hanging back, doesn't have it today at all. Tries to finish it off with a nice telemark landing. However, the style points and distance is not enough for him.
So a frustrating season continues. Here's Chris Holland, 5th after the first round. Holland had a 105-meter jump.
Let's see what Chris can do here. He has to hit a good one. Coming off, a little bit twisted, but pulling down the hill. Nice jump. A little bit back on the landing, though, and the judges are going to hit him there on the style points.
112 meters in distance.
We can see here the timing is good, stretches well over the skis, pulling down the hill, keeps going, and just here at the end in the landing gave up and landed more on the backside of his skis and had a little bit difficulty there.
Now the best hope for Canada in ski jumping is this fella, Jason Mislicki. He was the leader after the first round. They call him Slick, Canada's top ski jumper, and at the moment the future of the Canadian ski jumping movement, and it's all in his hands. Or should we say feet?
Right now it's pretty much everything. I've relocated to Calgary a couple years ago to live and train. This year's had its ups and downs for sure. Had a few unfortunate injuries that kept me away from training for a while. And then Europe and Japan, we got some experience.
He's not as good as last year, but Jason, he's a really hard worker, so I think It's just a matter of time, and I believe that he'll jump better again.
I have a lot of role models, still the hockey players, and I guess just the most professional athletes in every sport, the ones that are really spectacular in performance.
You know, he's just a great kid to be around. He's a good influence and a good example to a lot of the other skiers, and has been from the get-go.
This event, hope to win it for sure. Winning it last year and the year before as a junior, unless I really mess it up or do something abnormal, I think I have a really good chance of winning.
25 is clear.
Well, you set your sights high, and if you've got role models like Gretzky and Jordan, you're aiming for the best in the business. Here comes Jason Myslicki on his second jump.
It's all up to Jason here. He's got the competition in the palm of his hands, and another great jump.
120 meters.
He really cracked that one.
So the key now will be, will the style points help him out?
We'll see Jason's jump. He had a little difficulty on the landing there. I think he had a few more meters in that jump, Rob. We'll see this.
Hi, Mom, Dad.
Not bad jump.
Thanks.
Hits the timing right on the button. Great extension here, way over his skis, pulling well down the hill. He gave up way too early. He had definitely another 3 or 4 meters on the jump. Squat landing is going to hurt him in the style. However, it's going to be tough to beat Jason.
He is the leader right now, 2:43.4. Gets a handshake from Chris Holland. As top of the hill, Damian Carson, a 104-meter jump. He was 4th after the first round.
Damian has to hit a good one here if he wants to try to get into the medal contention. A little bit sideways, twisted. Smooth jump, but the distance is not there.
106.
Now Damian definitely, he did not have the same extension and the same height as Jason did. Timing seemed to be a little bit late. Trying to pull over the skis here. However, the jump is just not long enough.
And we take a look at the jump points, 103.6, a grand total of 202.6. Rob Schneidmiller, who had a jump of 99 meters in the first round, set to go. Now, Horst, you talk about the takeoff point. Is it right at the end of the jump or a spot just before?
Well, the guys are focusing obviously at the end, but the move begins at a number of meters before the end of the takeoff, and it's very important that you time this all correctly, and it's all done with the legs. You don't want to help with the upper body. The upper body stays very calm and relaxed, and you get the skis nice and wide and push that body right through, as you see Robert does here. However, he doesn't have the leg strength that he really needs and the explosive power to carry him further down the hill.
96 meters in jump number 2, a total of 167.6. Now Curtis Metzger, who had a jump of 98 meters, put him in 7th place after the first round.
All these guys are trying to improve on their first jump. You always want to have a second jump better than the first, or at least to have it equal. You don't want to make it worse than the first one. And Curtis hits 99 meters, which is 1 meter further than his first jump. But I know he's going to be disappointed with that.
As we watch Curtis Metzger fly.
Curtis having a little bit of difficulty in the air also. It was a little bit twisted. The wind may be shifting a little bit, and some of the guys are getting some abnormal winds.
Curtis Metzger finishing in 7th place overall. The final results, gold to Jason Myslicki. He was 2nd on the K114 1 year ago. He now picks up a gold. Peterson, Begg, Holland, and Carson rounding out the top 10. A disappointing effort for Jason Cardas as he's in 6th place. It was this man who gave up Nordic combined to concentrate on ski jumping. Jason Myslicki, at 19 years of age. He's the Canadian champion at 114, but says he could have done better.
I didn't even have really the greatest jumps, but it was enough to win, so I guess just there was a little air, so just put the keep the chest low and go for every meter.
So you get off the big hill, you strap on the cross-country skis, you hit the trails. Coming up, Nordic Combined.